Notigi Mayoza, Togoza, Magdalene, Togoza. 11:11 on the clock on my end. That's a super powerful number. We will do one on numerology, guys, where I explain what seeing these repeated numbers mean. So for me, 11:11, that's like a standard number in my life. Like for years now. I see it several times throughout the day. I see it on my receipts. I see it on the clock. I see it on the oven when I'm about to bake and I'm scrolling through temperatures. So these numbers mean something. We'll talk about them on another live one day. Thokozani, Tandega, Kiki, Habo, Thokoza Ndlovukazi Nut, Boniwe, you are here. Thokozani, Thokozani, Thokozani. Um, today's live is sort of multi-layered topics. I know there are people who've asked for a full moon release ritual. And I'm just going to say the release rituals take pretty much the same form, right? The same format that we've been doing. And I've given instructions on how to do a release ritual with the full moon. But I think I need to just recap a few things because I saw some misinformation on the post I did about the full moon where somebody was saying, release, and then manifest. Mm-mm. We do not do manifestation work with the full moon. Because remember that the full moon is now releasing, yachita, right? Because after these 3 days where the moon is full, yachita, meaning that unomkhubulwane or the moon loses energy and loses potency. So you can't then be trying to do work that requires potency, that requires energy. Does that make sense? That is why we use the new moon. Even though you can't see it, don't get it twisted. Just because you can't see the new moon does not mean that she's not potent. So we usually do our manifestation rituals, those that require potency and strength of the master magician, at the new moon. And you can extend it out as the moon gets fuller and fuller, meaning that she's accumulating more energy. And so you can use that energy for your manifestation work. When we hit the full moon, she's at her most potent, but she starts to release. So this is a time of letting go and releasing. Does that make sense? So what I wanted us to talk about first is the season we're in. You'll see me, I'm in my yellow, We are in the season of Inkosana, Inkosazana. We like to keep balance there. This is not patriarchy. So Inkosana, Inkosazana. This is the season of Heru. This energy or principle of Heru is really the principle of ascension, right? It is the principle of ascension. And the season came in on the 23rd. So we're just a couple of days in. So we're at the very beginning of the season of Heru. It'll go from the 23rd all the way until the 22nd of February. So 23rd January to 22nd of February. That is the season of Heru, right? There are certain characteristics associated with Heru, which is if you look at Heru's animal or the animal that represents Heru, many of you have also asked this question. Let me answer it quickly. Why do these principles, most of them, have an animal head? Well, our ancestors, in their great wisdom, used to observe certain animals within a certain period. That is how these animals became associated with a particular principle. And so the animal that represents Heru is the eagle or the falcon. And so if you look at the characteristics of the eagle or the falcon, that will give you an idea of the kind of energy that Heru has or brings in this season, and how you, in this current time, can utilize that energy for your own growth and development. So, what is it about the eagle? Number one, the eagle is very, very solitary. That's why I said it is the principle of ascension, because for those who are in spirituality and who've awakened, you know that when you're about to go through an ascension period, you basically get isolated, right? You find that, friends shed you, family doesn't want to talk to you, you find yourself isolated. But that's because spirit has a certain work that it wants to do in you so that you can ascend or grow in your spiritual journey, right? So the eagle is very solitary, or the falcon. This is a bird that, for the most part, it doesn't move in packs. You will never see a flock of eagles like you might see a flock of ducks or a flock of sparrows. No, very solitary. Secondly, it is a very, very strategic bird. In other words, when it's hunting, it will fly high above the clouds, maybe over a body of water. And in the water, from a very, 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 very high distance, it can see its target, its prey. And it will basically move until it is in line. And this bird is something else, until it knows that if it swoops at a particular angle, remember the fish is also moving, it will be able to get in and grab that fish. And they don't miss. So Heru teaches us that with whatever you're doing, number one, be patient, take your time, but also be strategic if you want to achieve a certain goal, right? That's the second thing. The third thing is the eagle has only one other bird that tries to attack it, and that is, I think it's not the hawk, it's the crow. So if you search videos, eagle versus crow, you will see where there is a crow that will attack an eagle. Say the eagle is on the ground and the crow comes and attacks it. The eagle, being very smart, will start to fly because it's a powerful bird, and it'll fly high with the crow still biting at its neck, trying to kill it. And it will just go up, up, up. It'll soar so high that the crow cannot breathe anymore because of the height that the eagle is able to attain. The crow cannot breathe because there's no oxygen for it, that its lungs can't take it, and then it literally will plummet to the ground. So here again, you see how Heru is strategic. What is the best way to fight your enemies? The eagle doesn't start going wah, 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 wah with the crow. No, doesn't make a sound, just starts flying high. And so Heru teaches us also that anytime you are confronted with a challenge, say in the form of a human being, somebody brings you some low vibrational energy, rather than reacting and ending up getting into a fight and vibrating as low as this person. Because now once you do that, you're at the same level as this person. People always say, if there's a mad person in a village and the mad person attacks you, and you start fighting with the mad person. When people pass, they don't know who the mad person is. Because now you're all the same. You're all muddy, you're all dirty, your clothes are torn, you're all screaming. Who's the crazy person? So Heru teaches us that it's not easy, because habitually many of us, once we feel attacked, are ready to fight at that same level that your attacker is at. You haven't won anything when you do that. All you've done is succeeded in becoming like that person. And a lot of people who come into our lives, remember, there is no such thing as an accidental encounter. A lot of people who are coming into our lives are coming in to help us ascend. You have a choice. You either go low and vibrate low with them, or you ascend. And this is what Heru teaches us. So that's another point to remember during the season of Heru. The season of Heru, by its very nature, brings along people that embody the energy of Set Umbidlizi. Because when you look at the mythological story that our ancestors told as a way to try to help people understand this, Uset Umbidlizi, Mosinyi, he messes stuff up. And so the mythological story is that Heru got into a fight with his uncle Set. Remember, Set is the one who had killed his father, Asa. And so he beat him. But that is a mythological story also to show you how these principles operate. So now in the season, you have to understand that the entry of the season of Heru will bring challenges. 111 on the clock. There we go. Another one of those numbers. Lots of challenges are going to come in the form of human beings. You have a choice. If you are conscious, you have a choice how you're going to deal with that person or those people. Will you stoop as low as they are, or will you rise? Now, somebody asked an important question, and I'm going to address it. It's to do with vibration, frequency, blah, blah. I talk about this a whole lot, but I'm going to reiterate it too. When we talk about vibration, you know that everything is energy. Everything is energy. Your thoughts are energy. That's why you can think things. Your words are energy. Your very self is energy, and your body, your physical body, is a very dense form of energy. That's why it manifests in the physical and you can see me. If my body was vibrating really, really quickly, you wouldn't see me. But because I am a spirit that has come to have a human experience, that is how I came to be incarnated in this body. Now, when we talk about a frequency, we're talking about the rate at which energy vibrates. So low frequency means the energy is vibrating at a very slow level, meaning to say that it is more visible. Now, let's take it to the issue of low vibrational energy and high vibrational energy. According to the scale of vibration, the highest vibration anyone can ever have, and people differ. Some say it's gratitude, some say it's consciousness, but whichever it is, the important frequency that unlocks your manifestation is the frequency of love and the frequency of gratitude. Those are the two really powerful frequencies that can unlock the things you want. So when I say you're vibrating low or a low vibrational person, it's basically somebody who brings emotions like anger, resentment, jealousy, unforgiveness, somebody who's malicious, say people who are gossiping about you. Those people are very low vibrational. So what I'm saying to you is, are you going to go and meet that person at that frequency of low vibration? Or are you going to rise above that toxicity so that you stay in a place of love and gratitude? Now, I'm not saying go and play nice, fake nice to somebody. You got to understand what this is about. It's got nothing to do with that person anymore. It's got to do with you and the choices you make. If somebody who's negative comes into your life, you have an option to cut that person out. You're well within your rights to do that. There are many ways to cut someone out, not just physically. If you can physically move away from that person, perfect. But many people find themselves in circumstances where, if it's a workspace, you cannot physically not be at work in order to avoid low vibrational energy people. So what do? This is where Heru comes in. This is where, while this person is doing things to provoke you, you then don't get provoked. You go into the place of gratitude immediately. Switch your thought pattern from, oh my God, this person makes me so angry, because this person can ruin your entire day. You're giving your power away to that person, causing you to vibrate low. So what you want to do is you want to find ways and develop mechanisms that can assist you in that workspace, so that even while you have to be in the presence of this person, your spiritual self kind of takes over and you are in a space of gratitude. You carry on with your work. You're in a space of love. Sometimes in some workspaces, people will allow you, if you're just kind of working solitary, you don't need to be talking to anyone. You can have your headphones and make sure that you're playing music that uplifts you, so that you spiritually lift yourself out of that negative space. It's not easy, but it can be done. But you see, it's not being easy is where the question becomes, are you ascending? Ascension is never easy. Think about Heru with this bird on its back, knowing that to get rid of this thing that's trying to kill me, that's biting me in the neck, I'm going to have to carry it to a certain height so that it loses oxygen and falls off me. So it's now flying with this monkey, if you like, on its back. It's not a monkey, but you know what I mean. There's a saying that there's a monkey on my back, meaning there's just something that is weighing me down, right? So that's the same principle you apply to yourself. You'll probably start frustrating this person because now you're not giving them the reaction they're accustomed to. You remember, misery loves company. Low vibrational people love when they can pull high vibrational people down to their level. That's a source of victory for them. You have no idea. So when you don't give that to them, this is where they get frustrated. And then they try new antics and you just have to keep ascending. New antics and you just have to keep ascending. That is literally what I believe the season of Heru really teaches us. So I came into the season of Heru already with a mindset that the challenges are going to be there. I'm not calling in any challenges, by the way, but I've accepted already at the get-go that they will be there. Tell me, what month do you ever have that doesn't have any challenge of any sort? However, my mindset with this season is very different because I'm conscious that anyone, and the thing is, these people who are low vibrational come to you in so many different ways. Could be a total stranger. You're going to the grocery store and you're minding your own business, and you literally see someone walking and purposely bumping into you, looking at you as though to say something, and without apologizing, moves on. Now, as a human who has been offended, what is your instinctive response or reaction? I'm going to go after that person. I'm going to tell them their thing. But by so doing, you're starting to vibrate low. You're human. You're going to feel irritated, frustrated, disrespected. Allow it to be for a moment, acknowledge that that's what you're feeling, and then like literally work yourself back out of it. And then don't give that fool the response that that fool wanted to elicit in you in the first place. That is how you master yourself too. When you can be like so aware of your emotions and how to shift them, that is self-mastery. And there's nothing you can't achieve if you're like that. Nothing you can't achieve. Because everything that you're trying to do in your life, this is the truth, has to do with your emotions. When we manifest, what is it we say? Envision, picture this thing, and then allow the emotions of joy, of desire, whatever it is you will feel when you get this person, because remember, you're creating this thing emoyeni. So it's already there. It is your desires for it, those positive emotions that are now going to pull it into the physical. Everything starts in the spiritual before it comes into the physical. That is the other thing you need to grasp. Now, if you're in the process of trying to manifest something and you've got all these interferences of negativity that are interrupting, and then you allow yourself to stay in that negativity, well, your manifestation is fed by positive emotions. So now you're in a state of constant or continuous negative emotions. Do you see what's going to happen? Your manifestation simply stays a desire, and you can desire and desire and desire all you like. It's not gonna materialize because you're not building it with positive emotions. That's why Heru, another thing about Heru, is very focused, extremely focused. That is why the eagle flies solo, so that it is focused. So don't allow distractions that fritter away your energy that you should be putting towards your manifestation. And there are many distractions in this world. To spiritual kids, I often say, if you really want to grow spiritually, unplug from media, because media is a huge distraction. The societies that we are living in and the system created as such has put many distractions so that you don't awaken, so that you don't ascend. Once you awaken to this fact, then do the opposite of what this system wants you to do. This system wants you to stay drunk, get drunk, stay drunk. This system wants you fighting with your neighbor, fighting with your sisters. It's created such disunity in families, and it's winning when you're doing that. This system wants you to stay distracted by movies. There's Netflix, there's Showmax. Listen, there's Mzansi Magic. They want you distracted by these things because anything that you put your mind to takes your energy. Everything is energy. So while you're distracted with all these things, your manifestation is where? How many people find it so hard to meditate even 5 minutes a day, to just sit in stillness? The first time you do it, you find you're sitting in stillness, but all that's going on in your head is crazy, crazy thoughts. Why? Because you have to go through a detox from all the distractions before you can actually be still and hear your own inner voice, which is where your power is. Your inner voice is your soul talking to you. I've said this before. You are the one person you spend most time with. You are the one person you have most conversations with. What conversations are you having with yourself? What does that mean? What are you thinking? I can think right now. I've just thought, you know what? Today is going to be a good day. I'm talking to myself. That's my soul talking to myself. So you have these conversations with yourself. What is the quality of those conversations? Are they assisting you to raise your vibration, or are they just pulling you down low? Are you stuck in, she did this to me and she did this to me? You're talking to yourself. It's in your head. And you know what? And then last year she did this to me. And then when I was a child, she neglected me and she left me by myself. And then that is negative self-talk. You're just pulling yourself down. You're just pulling yourself down. You can't manifest in that state. You just can't, because manifestation requires positive energy, love, gratitude. I just got a message from one of my spiritual kids where she said that the minute she let go of unforgiveness, when it came to her mom, who recently came to her after 13 years of not talking to her. And she's like, I'm so grateful and I feel such love. And things are blossoming around her. Love feeds. Unforgiveness, hate, resentment shrinks. It's like pouring poison on a plant. And the person who shrinks is you. And when you shrink, everything around you also dies. The energy you radiate out screams death. But when you love and you're in gratitude, the energy you exude screams life, and everything lives, and anything you touch lives. Abundance comes to you because now you're attracting abundance. Whatever you manifest comes because you are attracting it. I hope this is making sense to someone. So, that is the energy of Heru in the season that we're in. It's a powerful season if you choose to utilize it well. So now, let's go back to the issue of a ritual and letting go. I wrote in the blurb that right now we have Pluto. I think Pluto came in on the 20th of January, a very powerful planet of transformation, and it's in the house of Aquarius. Now, you guys have heard me talk about the age of Aquarius. That's a 2,000-year period. That's really long. But within that 2,000 years, obviously, there are shorter periods of certain events and things based on planetary alignments. And this one that just came in with Pluto in Aquarius is basically signaling huge transformational change where we will see old structures falling. We're already seeing it, right? Old structures are falling, whether they be church structures, government structures, anything that served the matrix and this age of Pisces and deceit and lies is falling. It just what is, and nobody can stop it. Remember April last year when I did a live and I prophesied, I said, Indlovukazi, be prepared for a shakeup. If you are in relationships that no longer serve you, so marriage structures that aren't serving you, they are going to fall whether you like it or not. We're here. And I know several people who can attest to this right now. You can fight it all you like, but ultimately it's done. If it is an old structure that no longer serves you, it's done. The beauty of it is Many of you who were sitting thinking, how do I get out of this? How that's gone because Umoya is assisting that process. You don't have to stress about how it's going to happen. It's just going to happen. Okay. There are many old ways of doing things that will no longer be acceptable. I wrote, I wrote that strange things have been happening to me for a long time. I always said, you know what? Going vegetarian or vegan is a very good thing. I know that spiritually it's good for us, especially as nine ether beings, Bagwantu. We are supposed to eat as close to nature as possible, something I've known for years. But the one thing I always said to myself is, Inyama, yeah, okay. I will never leave the meat. Well, guess what? 2 weeks ago, and it wasn't even intentional, I'm not eating meat anymore. I just found myself thinking, I'm making a plate, and do I really want meat? Nah. To the point where I'm like, hi, Bo, what's wrong with you? You know you like meat. Since then, I've not eaten meat. I feel amazing. Why am I saying this? This is a season. If there is anything you've ever wanted to let go of that you know hinders your spiritual growth or that harms your physical body or that is just not allowing you to progress, this is the time to do it because the energy supports letting go of that. It'll be easy. You don't have to do anything. You just have to tell yourself, I'm letting go of this, and it's done. Isn't that beautiful? Now, this period of huge transformation is going to last 23 years. Now, you don't want to take 23 years to let go of old things. Come on now. You want to live, right? And as you let go of these things, you want to make sure you're learning the lessons. You were in this space or this place or with this situation for this many years. What did you learn? Get your journal, start writing out and really analyzing to make sure you've learned the lessons so that you don't end up in the same situation again 3 years down the line, because it does happen. You have to rewrite the script that had you kept in that situation for longer than you should have been. And the only way you can do that is look at it for what it is. And look at that script that is running in your subconscious. What made you stay there for so long? What lies did you tell your spirit that kept you there? This is the season to do that work. It's not going to be hard. Might be painful, but the energy supports you, right? So this full moon, again, we are in that energy. Many of you, when we've done a full moon ritual of letting go, I've said, listen, if you're not ready to let go, don't go in front of Nomkubulwane and lie. Listen, as you are planning your ritual, Umoya already knows if you're lying or not. You're only hurting yourself. But for those of you who are genuinely seeking to let go of certain bad habits, certain things that you know for a fact, these things have held me captive or prison, whatever it is, food, I don't know, toxic relationships, whatever it is that has kept you stuck, and you know this thing is not good for you, your soul knows. This full moon in Heru is the best time to do it because the overall energy is of transformation. It'll assist you in letting go of that. The energy of Unom Kubulwani, who's the master magician, will assist you to do that too. No matter how painful or how hard you think it is, let it go. You have the master magician who will take whatever it is that's going on with you, whatever. If sometimes people want to hold on to pain, can you please get rid of this pain? Can you let go of this pain? She will assist alchemize or convert that pain into a positive energy that you can bring back into your life, but you got to let go of it first. There's some people say, I'm not ready to forgive. Well, time is moving. When are you going to be ready? When is there going to be a perfect time? What exactly are you waiting for? Holding on to a grudge. What? What are you waiting for? When is the time going to be right? Is there a something that you are waiting for? Is there a sign that you're waiting for so that you release this negativity? What is that sign? Because all you're doing by holding on to unforgiveness and negativity is you're drinking poison, hoping that it's going to hurt or kill your enemy. It's not, it's killing you. Let it go. This is your life we're talking about. Forget about other people. Remember, Heru is focused on Heru. That's where you're at. I can't forgive because this one did this to me and this one. Hey, those people moved on or are moving on. It's you who's still wallowing and stuck. So who have you hurt? Do not cut your nose to spite your face. You will keep yourself stuck thinking you're hurting the other person. Meanwhile, the other person doesn't even remember. So assist yourself. Do the work. Simple ritual. If you guys like, I'll write it out. This is a very simple one. Write out between now, I don't know what time it is there. Probably gone 6 or 7, right? Do this at 9 p.m. under the light of the moon. Take time after we're done. Write down those things that you want to let go of. And don't put blocks in your mind by saying, can I really do this? Don't do that to yourself. Because you've already failed if that's what you're going to do. And you're telling the universe that you're not ready to let it go. And the universe will respond likewise. So write down those things you want to let go of. Make a list of them, whatever it is they are. And then at 9 p.m. tonight, after you've sat with them and really, as you write them down, that is your meditative process. That is your process of taking it out of yourself. Put it on paper, because when you see it on paper, it really has more impact. And that literally usually is the first stage of healing, is where you can take this thing and write it down. Then I don't know if the moon is going to be out. Even if it's cloudy, the moon is there. She's there. And her energy is still potent, even if it's cloudy. And so you can go outside after you have this thing and you've made up your mind that after this, I'm not turning back. This is it for me. And then you just light this thing and you burn it in front of the full moon. Do you need to say anything special? No, because remember, energy and these higher order spirits and frequencies, they are conscious, already knows what's going on with you. As probably, even as we're having this live, it's like, there they go. You know what I mean? What I'm trying to say is there's no crazy incantation you need to do. As you burn this thing, visualize these things dying. They're dying. They are no longer a part of you. When you're done, blow the ashes in the wind, turn back and go inside and don't look back. You're done. The thing I always say is, don't then allow yourself to go backwards. If you've told yourself, I've done this, then move forward. Guys, forgiveness is a choice. Forgiveness is a choice. Being jealous is an emotion, but sticking with your jealousy and following it through is a choice. Being ungrateful or mean or malicious is a choice. You, having made the choice that these things are dead to you, they're no longer a part of you, stick with your choice. Because the only person you're going to hurt and disappoint after all that is yourself. And when you disappoint yourself, this is how you lower your self-esteem. Why? Because you can no longer trust yourself. Because all you're doing by going back is you are deferring this work for another time. When that time comes, you don't have the confidence anymore because you once disappointed. You lied to yourself, most. How are you going to trust yourself? Get out of that cycle. Get out of that cycle. Now, we come to the juicy part. Hello, Amaketha, men, you need to sit down for this one. This is now a women's conference. We have opened the women's conference. Is Indlovukazi, gather around. This is now women's conference stuff. This is amongst us. Okay, this is a very important conversation. It may be uncomfortable for some, but we want to fix the nations. We want to fix the world. Therefore, we are going to have hard conversations. And the only way we can have hard conversation is amongst ourselves. That's why I'm saying, Makhetha, men, Shlethan, sit down. You can watch, but don't comment. Don't. And if you're watching with a partner, don't sit there going, see, I told you. Because, sit down respectfully. Ndlovukazi, let us continue. It has been brought. It has been brought to our attention that there is a problem in the country, there is a problem in the Black nation, there is a problem in the world. The problem is this. According to the male members of the Black nation, Indlovukazi are not fully understanding the way the minds of men work. We think we do, but many of us are lost. So I'm going to break it down for you. I was also learning something new. I'm delivering to you what I have learned. Number one, understand that the masculine, that is why they have brute strength, originally were hunters. Okay, stay with me. They were hunters. They were hunters who went and hunted food to bring to you so you can cook, madam. But they were also hunters when it came to the area or arena of relationships. In other words, the message that has come through is, why are Indlovukazi making it so easy for men to get them? In other words, you are robbing them of the thrill of the chase by giving of yourself too easy. You know this to be true. How many women have said, I met this person, it was great, and I engaged in the act on the first date, and that was the last I heard of it. Now, you see that, and then you do it again, and you do it again, and you do it again. Mind you, it depends what you're looking for. If you are looking to be in a serious relationship with the outcome, with the idea or vision of making it permanent, they are saying, don't make things too easy for us. Give us an opportunity to woo you. Give us an opportunity to win you. Because we value that which we have worked for. They value that which they have had to work for. So If you are offering yourself on a silver platter, why do you think about hunting animals? There are animals that hunt that will see a dead carcass and won't touch it. Why? They didn't hunt it, so they're not interested in it. They're interested in the zebra out there. And they zingela, zingela, bit. And then they strategize and then they go for it. And then the zebra runs and they run harder. And the zebra jumps a tree and they jump a tree. And the zebra ducks and they duck. The zebra, do you see what I mean? You are ruining it for them. Because now, the way we present ourselves, they can't live in their full nature. They value and treasure that which they have had to work for. Number one. Number two, another thing. Another thing that came out of the men's conference was for me to pass this message. Indlovukazi. Less is more. If everything is there, visible, they said it the appetite. uh-huh. Less is more. We are visual creatures and we like our imagination to, you know, to work a little bit. Again, they like working. Make them work. Why are you making it easy? They said they want to work. So when everything is pepenene, that's the word I caught. Pepenene, then it's like, And they said we'll only catch to smash. Already know that this is not a relationship situation. Meanwhile, you in your low short skirt, which when you just do a 20-degree bend, everything are in this for the duration. I can tell you that. Look, if he wants to smash, he's not going to tell you that. Listen, this is just a smash. No, he'll smash and run. I know I'm laughing, but I'm delivering a very serious message. If you know, you know. This is a very serious message, and it came from the other gender themselves. They are really concerned by the way Indlovukazi are presenting themselves. And it's not just a concern because of anything other than the fact that as the Black nation, as the Black family, we are trying to restore order and harmony and balance. How is that going to happen if one gender is not happy? So we have to resolve our issues, and that is one major issue that came. But also on just the issue of self as Indlovukazi. Guys, the word Indlovukazi is a very powerful, potent word. I've often said that many of us are living or are aspiring. The word Indlovukazi is an aspiration that we have. To be called a queen or a goddess is an aspiration that we have because we are not walking in that energy. We are not embodying who we really are yet. Most of us, we're not. How do we know? We see it in the way we carry ourselves. We see it in the way we do things. And believe it or not, this is not about policing how people dress or how they present themselves. But if you aspire or want to be Indlovukazi and have Siriti, and be able to get the kind of energy that you desire, then how you present yourselves is important. If you present yourselves as a smash and run girl, then it's the smash and run men you're going to attract. If you present yourself as Indlovukazi, the men who have the guts to step to you are those who know their story, because they know that this one, they need to literally do some homework before they come after you, because they need to make sure that they come right. Even the approach has to be a certain way. So whether we want to admit it or not, how you present yourself is going to determine what you attract. This is in the arena now of relationships. Even on the streets, if you present yourself as a smash and run, people are not going to look at you anything other than a smash and run, including Ogogo, including the Judge Judy's from the church, including the Omalume who want to stick their hand up your skirt. Like, it is what it is. I'm just relaying a message. Don't shoot the messenger. Okay? This is what I'm hearing. So, the other thing that's important for Indlovukazi, particularly those of us with children, girl and boy children. I've said this before, I'm going to say it again. Our children don't learn by the things we say. Forget about it. Our children learn by the things we do. So if I, at 52, am going to be dressing like my 17-year-old twins, when my twins are 52, would they be wrong in dressing like 17-year-olds? That's what they saw. That's what they grew up around. Your children are watching you more than they are listening to you. And one way that your children will lose respect for you is if you are yelling at them or telling them to look or be a certain way. Meanwhile, you yourself are not walking that path. They may not tell you that they've lost respect for you because they're scared you're going to whack them in the mouth, but the respect plummets. And what replaces respect? Contempt. Sometimes they can't hide their contempt. They're just passive aggressive. You say something to them and they might even just like, they know that they can't say because, then you call it disrespect. Mind you, sometimes you call out the attitude, but they can't help it because that is what you're showing them. You're saying one thing, but you're behaving in another way. They are looking up to you in the home. And when I say our children, remember, it takes a village to raise children. I'm talking about the young men and women in your community. When you step out of your gate, what are the neighboring young kids? Kids always hanging out on the street. What are they saying? How is it that we have an epidemic of 15-year-olds trying to dress like they are 25 and parading the streets looking older than they are? What happened? Where did they get that? Who are they modeling their lives against? Who do they look at and say, I want to be like this person? Is it the women in the community who carry themselves a certain way? Or is it the women in the community who are out there looking like smash and run? Ndlovukazi ezikoto, Indlovukazi. We're going to have to win back our communities by walking the walk. We're going to, because you are competing against Instagram slay queens for your children. You are competing against these Instagram slay queens, most of whom have no idea what they've put themselves in until they end up in Dubai, surrounded by a bunch of Arabic men. I don't want to go there. I've seen. Oh, that's who your children are aspiring to. That's who your children are watching. Your children are imbibing everything that's on social media, that's in the movies, and making this their reality if you don't step in. Tell you about the current generation of kids. I'm at 2000. Can I just give you a tip? Don't shout at them. Stop shouting at these kids. You won't win. These are the ones that are going to challenge us to heal our generational trauma, because we grew up in an age where we were smacked, shouted at. Don't bother with that lot. Don't bother. You will lose them. This group, they're called the Indigo Kids. They are the children who came here with a purpose and a mission, and most of them know that they came here to fix what's gone wrong. So don't get upset if it's your 17-year-old or your 18-year-old or your 20-year-old correcting you, because that's what they came to do. And they will force us to heal, Shem. These ones, they will force us to heal. So what I'm trying to say is our communities are in need of our intervention as Indlovukazi. Unfortunately, I'm not on the ground anyway to help facilitate some things, but I really think that we need to set up a group somehow where we start to come up with strategies of how are we going to approach some of these problems. Today, I just thought, let me lay it out there because it is a serious problem. The men's conference said they will deal with their own stuff. Because once again, we know that if we start telling them what to do, it's like, take the stick out of your eye before you tell me to take the speck of dust out of mine. And you know the battle between the masculine and the feminine is real. So the only people who can really tell each other the truth about anything is us talking to one another about what is true, and them talking to one another about what is true. The warning, though, is this. Indlovukazi are very, very quick on the uptake when it comes to healing and moving things forward. The men's conference, y'all going to have to get on board, because see, when Indlovukazi do their healing work, they're not going to want to be dragged back into mud. So if y'all aren't doing what you need to do, best believe Nizoshima, you are going to be Ishimani. You may be bachelors, or maybe go out there and get some grab and smash, but you're not going to get Indlovukazi ezikoto, because they're not going to put up with nonsense. Men's conference, those is sitting in the back. Are you hearing me? Or that pass that on when you go back to the conference. That Indlovukazi just said that, warning, shots fired. We are moving forward. We are going to fix ourselves. We are going to heal ourselves. But y'all better be doing the same. Otherwise, we're going to find ourselves back in the same spot. So, I have delivered the message. Can I get a bunch of hearts and likes and hugs if Indlovukazi Zam have heard the assignment? Have you heard the assignment is Indlovukazi? Yes, there we go. They have the assignment. They have. So now I can pass back. For the men sitting in the conference, take this and pass it back. We heard you loud and clear, and we agree that there are certain mistakes that we have made. And we are going to fix it. Because we can go historically and look at what the colonizer did and how we got here. That's not going to help us at this point. We want to utilize this energy of transformation to transform. So staying stuck in what the colonizer did is not transformation. It's just rehashing the past. So we have heard what the issues are. We are going to utilize this energy of Pluto in Aries for the next 23 years to do what? To really transform us. And we're not going to take 23 years, right? We're not slow like, the men's. We know how we do. We can get this done and fast. And please, I'm asking you, you don't have to be a physical mother to be a mother. You don't have to have birthed children to know what it is to be a mother. You are a mother by virtue of your birthright. You are mother by virtue of who created you. You are an extension of Goddess. You are an extension of Msikavanu. You're an extension of Unomkubulwani. Therefore, let's go back to we are a village parenting our children. I'll tell you something about children that a lot of people don't understand. They're like, oh, that's someone else's child. I'm not getting involved. Don't do that. Don't do that. That is your child if you see that she's on the wrong path. Now, what you're not going to do is go and preach in her face because, like I said, these 2000s, they'll give it right back to you. However, you can go and try to develop a rapport with her. There are many kids right now who are not getting on with their parents for whatever. You are in a neighborhood where you see that. You know this girl and that one there because she doesn't even want to go into the house. So most times she's just hanging out on the street. On your way to work, you see her, stop. Greet her the first time. What's going on? How are you? What? They need an adult who will model for them what it is to be a woman, what it is to be Indlovukazi. And it's not necessarily going to come from home. Umuntu ungumuntu ngabantu. Meaning to say, you have a hand in the raising of children in your neighborhood. As long as uyindlovukazi. In your neighborhoods, there should be no children lurking around on the streets hungry because uma wakhe umthukile wamtshela ukuthi phuma la ngisafuna ukukubona. And now she must be on the streets vulnerable to the predators. By the way, the men's conference literally admitted that they are the major reason why Indlovukazi are presenting the way they are and why our young girls are presenting. That for me is huge. That admission that we did this. For example, the selling of the body for money. There would be no selling of the body for money if there was not a market. Who is the market? They fully admitted their part in this. So that's why I'm saying embrace your part without defensiveness because they were not defensive. They fully admitted that, yes, we created this mess. So they will do their part to fix themselves and fix the community their way while we do our part. Is that fair? It's fair. I was about to say 50-50. Ooh, they better not hear me say that. It's not about that. I'm just being silly. It's about balance. We want to create balance in our communities because from balance comes harmony. From harmony comes that beautiful unity. From that unity comes what? A common vision and a common purpose, which is land back, wealth back, get rid of umlungu, and restore ourselves to that which we were created as. Make sense? And on that note, I think I've said a mouthful today. I have left you lots of food for thought. I have left you with a beautiful ritual. Don't waste these opportunities. I love you in Indlovukazi Zam. Men's Conference, salute. We are in this together, Black Nation. And you know what? We'll get it right. Masithokozeni.